wait? There's no reason to wait. Why? Let me tell you why I'm starting now. Why there's no reason to wait? Because usually, like, oh, you got to get it done fast. I got to get this done now. Because if I do it now, then I'll have time on the back end. Nope, there's nothing to do today. Nothing. Let me show you. Let me show you. I am so caught up. I finally figured. I'll explain a lot of things. You guys are fortunate enough to have me here. So you're going to go through all your video games and chasing the girls and sports cars and adventuring and hiking. And then you're going to be like, well, what is there? And then this is when you get to like old man shit. Okay. You get an old man stuff where, your old man was like, oh, I got a good deal on those tires, or they got the air conditioner to work again. And I'm telling you, man, after you get through all those material items and the novelty wears off, Coach Greg Adams said it best: peace, contentment, serenity, and quiet. Of course, he was referencing the absence of a woman, but good old Greg. But I woke up this morning, I'm like, man, why am I in such a good mood? Why am I? And I figured it out. So I go through my to-do list. I am so caught up. I figured out a Discord server. I caught up with all of Asshole Consulting. I tweeted out the post and everything. I checked the oil. I paid my property taxes already. I looked at getting an iStock subscription. I looked at BookBub. I mean, and you're like, well, these aren't great. You're right. They're not great accomplishments. But that's how caught up I am. And then I went hiking with Doge yesterday, the dog of no real value. Oh, and I met a fan out there. I'm coming back off the peak. And see this young guy, he's running up the hill, running. And I'm like, oh, and these thin guys, they're in shape. He's running up the hill. And I at one time I was that. And I'm almost there again. I could almost run up. There's a place called Lone Mountain. This is over on the west side of town. So I run out of east and south side hiking. So I was on the west side. And I was like, oh, he's running up the hill. He's in pretty good shape. And then I move dog of no real value off to the side. Dog of no real value will not attack anything. So no one was in danger at all on that hike. And then he stopped running. I say, oh, I thought you were going to run all the way up. And he lays, Aaron Clary? I'm like, yeah. So now we're up to like 11 times someone recognized me in public, which is just the right amount. Just the right amount. Like once a year. My dad, hey, guess what? Got rid of. Oh. So his name's Tristan, young fella running up. We took a picture. So who knows? Might go hiking on the south side one of these days. So I got the hike out of the way. And then I had hit the gym the day before. I caught up with all the work, Asshole Consulting. And then I'm going to, and here's the thing, like, if there ain't nobody around, another issue you're going to run into, you guys play it right. You play it cool. You have no debts. Well, here's the other thing is marriage is just not tenable. It's a non-starter. And on top of it, again, I'm of the opinion that most women really don't want to get married either. So that huge traditional investment in time thing is off the table. So you're not going to have any kids. And so you're going to be sitting like, what the heck do I do? And after, again, there's point when you're younger, well, I got all this time and money. What am I going to, you'll do your traveling, you do the motorcycle ride, but you're going to get tired of it. Everything has a shelf life of novelty. And then you go like, what? And if you're lucky, you're like, well, I guess there's only something to do more work. Roll, I guarantee, is in this exact same position. Empty nester. He's got his dogs. Doge. He's got his snowmobile. He's got his wife. But then what do you do? Let's get back to it. Let's get back to what there was a war movie where, I don't know, the Viet Cong or so. There's a big, like the Tet Offensive. Don't quote me on it. Something, Battle of the Bulge, whatever. And the Americans stave it off and survive. And at the end of the movie, the handful of guys that remain, what do? And they go right back to it. because that's all. There's the proverbial tree to always punch on that cliff. And I just went back. I said, all right, the best use of my time is work. The best use, and by work, I don't mean just doing consulting and writing books and all that other stuff, but getting through this stuff. I even have digital residency in a foreign country now. I gotta maybe update my will a little bit. I paid property. I paid my property tax. I'm done with taxes. Sent that off to Elkins. and now when I woke up this, I couldn't put my face, and I figured it out when I looked at this to-do list. You see a lot of writing and everything, but most of it's crossed off. I realized I got a whole day off. I have no obligations to society, no obligations to myself. I can sit and do nothing. And by nothing, I mean really do nothing. I polished off a whole pot of coffee, sat in front of the fireplace drinking coffee, looking at Doge. Doge looking at me. I'm like, we're doing nothing today, Doge. I might take it to the dog park. We might go play ball. But like, I don't have to work out. I don't have to do consulting is all caught up. I even took a picture, like 3 in my inbox. You know what it's like to have 3 messages in the inbox, 2 of which you're just holding on to reference because you got to get back to them at a later point in time. Do any of you have 3 messages total in your inbox? I'm like, woo-hoo-hoo! Arbeit macht frei. Cappy is out of here. And I'm going to have a guilt-free day of enjoyment and sloth and lethargy. I bought a used video game, Battlefield 3. Okay, boomer. Yeah, it actually has a campaign and it works. I don't need to download updates. Ooh, darn, I'm not with the cool hip kids sitting there waiting 8 hours for something to update. And I just looked at it. I kept looking. I'm like, why am I row rehearsal? All row, just keep looking at your to-do list because there's usually something to do here. I'm looking at there's nothing to do. Nothing. And so that, I'm like, all right, now we got time to actually do a podcast. And the podcast I have in mind, there's a lot of stuff we got to go talk about. A lot of stuff. And as per usual, we won't cover it all. And maybe we will. Maybe we will. So, all right. Very important. We're going to at least let me talk about the tentative point purpose of this. Now, me and Jack Napier, you guys know Jack, our favorite Scandinavian over in Finland. He was telling me about a thing. I'm going to keep you anonymous, Jack. Somebody in his past screwed up. And him and I were talking a little bit on the Twittergrams. And he says, it really is just not screwing up, isn't it? I say, yeah, it is. It really is. And a couple weeks back, and I don't know, for whatever reason, this person in my past, who I had no relationship with, it was just a mere, our paths crossed due to an error I made. I'm going to try and keep this very, very not identifiable. But in Cappy's past, Cappy goofed. Not an immoral goof, not even drunk, just an innocent mistake. And that made our paths cross. And this, I could say, woman wanted to seek some form of like, you screwed up and you should compensate me for your screw up. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. No, I'm sorry. And just so you guys, it's nothing big. It's nothing big. Now, I admit I was wrong. Yeah, I'm sorry. There was no malice. I didn't like seek this completely random person. I'm like, oh yeah. Imagine like you're playing baseball in the neighborhood. You hit one, it goes foul and goes into Mr. Johnson's window. Mr. Johnson is not good. He understands your boys. Mr. Johnson probably broke a couple windows in his day too. I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson. Well, no, I hit it and da. Although nowadays, I don't know. Well, the pitch, I mean, because young people abdicate responsibility and, he threw a curveball and but then again, that presumes young people are even getting exercise and playing real baseball instead of digital baseball, where you have to wait 10 hours for a download on your Xbox One. You know, they download it like, well, if you'd like bats, you got to get the extra bat patch. There's no bats. It's just called pitch. Anyway, that's the level of oops old Cappy did. All right, so I'm sorry. Now, there was a logical, traditional solution to this oops, to this mistake. The person whose path I ran into, uh, all of a sudden took it way beyond what it had to be. To the point I'm like, huh? What? Really? A- and then I realized, oh, I see. They're going for something much larger. And in doing that and making it more than what it was, I realized this person is evil. This person is trying to shortcut the system. This person is making their grab and dash. This is their strategy. Now I do remember a couple things about this individual. This individual uh, was older than me significantly, but we'll just say middle aged. This individual is also uh, adorned with signs of wealth. Put it that way. Not necessarily wealthy. I didn't know, but it looked like this person was wealthy. And so the situation resolved itself. Everything was fine. Cappy lived to be another day. And we're talking decades maybe later. Like the woman's name stuck in my mind. For some odd reason, it was an obscure sounding name. So, oh, and she was married. She had a husband. So I do remember that. Well, so I Google her, do a little Google stalking. A wreck, an absolute wreck. And I come to find out, unrelated to when our paths crossed, bankruptcy, failed business. No, like if I did a Clary test on it, I mean, we're talking a failure, a failure. Conclusive proof that it was all fake and flashing cash. Like her displays of wealth were all on borrowed money. And at middle age, you're still trying to play that middle school game of like, oh, I got the Nikes, I got the Cavariccis. Look at my bling. You're playing bling as a 50-year-old woman, roughly. This woman ain't 50 anymore, and she ain't middle age anymore. She old. She is old. Divorced, husband ain't around no more. Just a financial wreck, and no money whatsoever. Poor, absolutely poor. Like the worst position you could be in out of all the humans is an old woman whose youth and beauty is all gone. You saved up no money, and now you're poor. And I could go into other details, some activism, activism, activist activities of the leftist variety. And this gets back to what me and Jack were talking about, and what I have said is you don't see it when you're younger, guys. You don't, because all the money in the world and the school system, K through college, shields these people. And then the banks continue to shield them like, yeah, here's some money. Yeah, take the money. Yeah, you'll pay 20%, but take the money. And they put on this front. And you're like, where is the justice? When does the justice come in? Where is karma? You don't believe it. And it's not until you're older and those support systems and artificial environments go away. When there's no more school, there's no more government lending you money, there's no more bailouts. You could even get a bailout. You could, but you'll still piss it away. And oh my God, did the Lord God, did the right hand of God come down and beat the ever living shit out of this evil woman? And you kind of look at it and you're like, that's horrible. This is one of the most tragic things I've ever seen, beyond someone like, getting blown up by an IED, being truly crippled. But for someone who had all of their faculties, wasn't physically impaired, wasn't mentally impaired, was just a lazy piece of shit, was just an evil person. You looked at it, it's like, look, okay, you're evil in this one spot. You think you're going to do the cash and grab. But if you're evil on this one thing, you're going to be evil and lazy on all things. And even if you got the cash and grab, it's not going to compensate you for your life of backstabbery, of being a lazy, no good piece of shit. And here's this woman's life: divorced, poor, no skills, no money, old, no love. And I don't really see any children or family, but that's not the point. Even if this person had children or family, they are at minimum, their relationship is stressed. Even if these people, well, if she's evil and their kids are evil, wouldn't they be? No, evil people. Oh, there is no honor among thieves. So at best, if there are any children, any family members that are still hanging out with this person, the relationship is stressed, if not certainly estranged. And if you tell me if you know of a more punishing form of revenge, like God, he sat there and cooked this one up. And he just took his finger and went, not squash, just drill. And then reformed her again so she could suffer again. Drill. Just grounded her down, built her back up so she could feel more pain. Well, she did it herself. Kept trying to cheat the system, cheat the system, cheat the system. And so now, here's her entire existence. No real skill, mailed it in, always perpetually poor. That's okay if you're a minimalist. If you're okay like me, like, oh yeah, I'll just live in the basement, chill out, teach my dance classes on the side, work a security guard gig, that's fine. No, she made it doubly difficult, succumbing to materialism. She had to have the bling and oh, she was going to become an entrepreneur and there were going to be business ventures and all this. They all failed. All failed. And then you lose your spouse. Then you ain't got no skills. Then you're going to throw yourself at the mercy of society because you still, I mean, I know, God, like, really screws you guys over in this regard by giving you laziness. Like, oh my God, lady, if you just cut off your ass and became an accountant. And because of her personality and her backstabbery, no one, nothing. She's not beautiful. She's not young anymore. You're not going to get a guy. And now she got to be, unless particular longevity runs in her family, she's looking at the last decade of her life. And this is the fill your adult diapers and your depends stage of life. She's at the mercy of the state. She's absolutely collecting a government check. And she gets to look back at her life. Of course, probably too wise to believe in something as foolish as religion. Ha ha ha. And it's over. And she gets to remind herself every day she threw it away. She threw it the F away. And I'm just sitting there like, when I was looking it up, I almost felt pity for her, except this lady wanted to blow it up, turn it up to level 10. You know, I'm like, I just broke your window, lady. What? I'll pay for it. Oh no, that wasn't enough. And it's just, I just want to point it out to you guys. All right. There is no way. You wonder how karma works. You wonder how vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You say, well, wouldn't it take a sentient divine entity? No. But it works whether you're secular or religious. If you're religious, you believe that there's God and justice, and he will have the right hand. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But how I think it works more in the real world, and I've talked about this before, is you cannot be an outright evil person. You can't be trying to constantly cut corners at the expense of other people. You can't be stabbing people in the back all the time and perennially lazy and have any kind of quality life. You can't. Because if you're going to screw over everybody, if you're going to be that solipsistic, if you're going to try to essentially enslave everyone to get more out of them than what you put in, or not give them anything at all, pretty much just stealing. If you're going to be a thief, that's it. You're just going to be a thief. No one in society is going to hang out with you. You will be self-ostracized. At best, people won't hang out with you. If not, you will be punished. And that's it, lady. Congratulations. No one's going to know who it is. You blew it. You blew your entire inheritance from the universe or God or whoever you want to believe put you on this planet. Your inheritance is the time on this planet. And you blew it. You lived a tortured existence. You were miserable. You made other people miserable. You're poor and you're still alive to suffer. Like it's kind of like you're in a baseball game and you're in the 9th inning and you guys are down 25-0. And you just got to finish this game. You're not going to win. You're not getting no home runs. You don't have the energy. And that was it. What was your life? Oh, this one game where I lost 25-0. I mean, you could even argue, well, people got drafted into war, got shot. Well, they did something. You know, the untold probably billions of men over history and time that just got fed into the war machine and ground up. Well, what was their point in existence? Well, at least they fought for something, whether you agreed with it or not. They had camaraderie, they had brotherhood, at least in their minds. Take the religion or ideology behind why they were going to war. In their minds, they thought they were right. The Phoenicians, the Romans, the whatever, the communists, doesn't matter. Everyone thought they were. So they had that. They sacrificed their life for a purpose. What happened? A waste. Like not even should have been like you might as well not have been alive. The world would have been better off. I've been wrestling more and more in my mind with the concept of existence and making it count. And I'm shocked. I don't know if I'm appalled. I'm let down, saddened, maybe even exasperated. You know, what's his name? In one of those horrible 80s movies that they made about Vietnam. They spoofed it, whatever. Like, why? And I have a question to all you, and there's so many, this is easily the majority. It's that actor. He played a bad guy. He played 008 in James Bond and he came back. Why are you still alive? That was even an anime thing. Then why are you still alive? Vicious. And why are you still alive? At the church with him and Spike. Great scene, sword and gun. Boring. That's nerdy. It's anime. But I mean, you want to yell at him like Vicious yells to Spike. Why are you still alive? Why are you here? I mean, and understand, I'm not advocating self-deletion. It's an academic, like, why are you here? You're going to do exactly as you're told. You're going to suffer and enslave yourself to banks and auto loan company and the schools, and you're going to enslave yourself to an ideology of theft, parasitism, and slavery. That's socialism. That's leftism. You want to enslave other people so they can pay for your shit. But you could even, like, this is a perfect example. You get all the shit in the world. Let's say you won, right? You got the thing, you made your dash and grab, or grab and dash. You'll still lose. People win the lottery. Basketball players, they bust their ass. I feel very sympathetic for these guys. No one teaches them basic finance. They make, millions of dollars. They're bankrupt. Like, I think 60% of professional sports dudes are bankrupt after 10 years. Like, here's your gift. Here you go. And you piss it away. You piss it away. And you become, like I said, a slave to things and the banks and your ideology and your stupid degrees. And then you get old. And at least, like, when you're young, there's an element of like, okay, I'm attractive enough to attract the opposite sex, men included. Now we got a little bit of a shelf life, but we get old too. Soon we get wrinkly balls, more wrinkly than they already are. Soon that part's over. And hopefully maybe you got some grandkids or some grandnieces and nephews. But if you're an asshole, wow, why are you here? Why? You're going to do the same thing everybody. That's why I have no desire. I don't even care. Like, I can hand to like, oh, Twitter's a cesspool. Is it really? Or is it just a bunch of robots regurgitating the talking points? I mean, oh my God, the number of 18 to 40-year-old NPC women and their allies, their white knight allies that just come in and regurgitate. It doesn't get me pissed off. I laugh. I'm like, my God, you're not alive. You've never had an independent thought in your life. You were programmed. You came off the assembly line, and now you're doing the exact thing I know you're going to do. And I don't have what am I going to? Am I going to talk to you? We're going to have a debate. You're not capable of it. And one of you guys, like, when are you going to debate Michaela Peterson about what? Holy cow, there's a dust bunny in the closet that has more intelligence than her. Well, yeah, single mom, eh? Rich dad, eh? Helping the children, huh? Purpose and read. Did you discover religion? Okay, whatever. But man, you don't have to lift a fit. You don't. You don't. You just let them screw it up and you let them die. And the only thing I have a question about is like, do they realize it? Do they realize it's over? You know, heaven help you. And we have plenty of Black and Latino listeners here. How many of you guys got someone who's never going to escape the barrio? Never going to escape the ghetto? I guess in my case, who white brothers too, never escaped the trailer park, also known as the state of Wyoming. And that's their existence. Like living government paycheck to government paycheck. What do? Watch TV? You do dope? You drink? It's fun for a while. But I mean, I would love, well, because think about that. Let's go to the guy side of thing. I know this is a guy, but let's take that. Let's take that and run with it. What's the life trajectory of someone that's on the government dole? So let's say you're a young guy, mom's single mom, nothing's her fault because they got to waste their life too. So you get government housing, you're already in a stressed environment, broken family, probably not good neighbors, you're not getting no sleep. We've had several guys call in and I'm like, what's all the noise? Oh, my family's arguing. Like, get out of that environment now. There's mental stress. You guys at least get like, okay, I got to get to engineering. I got to join the military. We're getting you out. But you got to know, so what do? Then they what? They graduate from high school, maybe. They just passed along. And then they got the EBT cards. Do they work? Maybe they get into dealing drugs. They just listlessly, mindlessly go through life. And then, but then there's got to be you get to middle age, right? And the novelty of the video games, I presume, will wear off. I don't know. We'll find out. Because I know most of the guys my age are kind of like, yeah, we like video games. It isn't what it was back when we were like, 20. But okay, you get a girl pregnant somewhere in there. And then at least in the Wyoming world, you work some dead end job or you're a really crappy tradesman of some kind. Like you do roofing or framing. I guess the Latino community be kind of along the same line. Okay, roofing, framing. What about the Black community? Tell me, brothers, help me out here. Let me know what is it drugs? I'm not trying to be stereotypical. I want to know that age range where you're no longer really a younger man. You're starting to get into like, okay, 30, right? Playing dope, playing video games, having sex in the trailer park, whatever. 30 to 50. What's that look like? Because you can't be running the games no more, right? You got to do something. And I don't even mean to make a living. I mean just to kill and cure the boredom. And then what's it like 60 and older? Like I'm trying to see, running through all the different people I've ran into, maybe they just inevitably, the kids are finally out of the house. They can keep up a facade of normalcy. What ends up happening, like, and then dead. Then you're dead. Question is, were you ever alive in the first place? And at least there's a life of leisure. At least there's kind of like, you're not stressed. You're not too worried about, because maybe you can't think that far ahead. But if you really want to make it worse, can you imagine all these young people? Well, they're not so young anymore. Where, okay, you have the laziness and sloth operating system, but you're going to add delusional purpose and agency. Like, I'm going to change lives, save worlds, make a difference. And then you got like this gal where I don't think she ever had a degree, but goes into stupid, idealistic businesses and failure after failure after failure. All, and I'm sorry, ladies, disproportionately, we've hammered on the guys. Now we're going to hammer on you. What's that like? Just you're equally as lazy. You're not going to hit the gym, so you couldn't even avail yourself of financial opportunities like OnlyFans and seeking arrangements. So that's gone. You couldn't find yourself a quality husband. That's gone. So then you go into careers and educations that are not going to pay, but in a very autoimmune deficiency sort of way, co-opt your brain into thinking this is the future. This is where you're going to make it. Then you get masters. Like, you constantly chase that white dragon like heroin addicts do. And then forget the first big warning sign is menopause. Like, a huge chapter of your life is over. The majority of your life is over, and all your youth is over. But you could pull off the late stage cougar milfy type, maybe find love, maybe get a guy. No, I'm going to go and protest. I'm going to double down. And then you are like this gal who was very upset I broke her window and wanted her ton of flesh. You're 75, 80? Why are you alive? That's got to really suck, because you tried so hard to do a thing and you didn't do a thing. Like, how many women we could safely say now there's got to be at least a generation of younger boomer women and some men too. All you social science workers, all you child protection people, all you people who are generally fighting poverty, what is that like knowing you guys utterly failed? In addition to having $30 to $50 trillion of funding, you still failed. You didn't help the children. You didn't close any wage, life expectancy, wealth gaps between various races. And I'd have to update my figures. The gaps might have even gotten worse. Depending, life expectancy. The brothers ain't living as long as Whitey. Ain't none of us living as long as our Asian brothers. That's where the liberal white women come in. Like, we're going to get you up to white standards. I'm like, why are you aiming so low? Should we all be like looking like, well, look at the Japanese dudes. They're living to 105. How? What are they doing? Let's get their playbook. Let's get their rule book. Let's see what they're doing. You girls couldn't do it. All of you, your existential purpose, at least the one you thought, the one you traded in love and children and grandchildren for, that you were going to save lives, make a difference, and change the world, you didn't. You just made it worse. So not only did you waste it, but at least me and the guys, wherever various group, race, neighborhood you happen to be in, at least we got a life of playing video games and maybe throwing our seed around, and I'm very curious though, help me out from trailer park from 35 to 65. What's that like? I've seen it in Wyoming. It's just people driving trucks and getting by and paying child support. But you gals, these grandiose dreams, and you fail. You lose, sir. Good day. Like, that's like being like bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, full count against you, and you're down 50-0. And it's a stupid question to ask, but do you girls regret it? Do any of you do that one last final time of crying yourself to sleep? Do any of you ever admit it, or do you take that shame to the grave with you? And never admitting that you failed. I mean, you don't have to admit, everyone can see it on grand display. You social science people have failed spectacularly. You haven't done anything. You have made it worse. Money printer go burn. Now poor people can't afford housing. I love how everyone thinks I'm anti-poor when I'm like, I'm not the one that printed off trillions of dollars, man. But do you just take it to the grave because your ego and pride just can't admit that your life was a waste, a complete freaking waste, and you were miserable the entire time. Holy cow. You guys want vengeance on whatever the bully who fought you or Tina who shot you down for prom or no, man. No, you could not even come close to what God or nature or karma or the universe has in store for these people. You can't even come close. I was telling Jack, this is one of my favorite memes is Captain Obvious from, I think it's hotels.com. And it says Gen X and he's just eating popcorn. It's that is the gift. See, the universe, God, whatever, punished us who wanted to do hard by having us have to deal with these lazy, parasitic, thieving, enslaving losers, for just general. And we had to suffer under them, be it they were bullying us when we were younger, they were arrogant. And I'm okay with girls shooting guys down. That's just, but when you're mean about it, I remember some girls just being mean, stringing guys along. We don't have to go into that. But more modernly, just, well, we're going to enslave you more so that I can have a hobby to help raise the children and save lives, because I don't want to work a real job. You have every right to be enraged when your fellow countrywomen vote in to enslave their men. Generally speaking, don't worry. There's the pussy beggars and the white knights who also vote that in. All right. You guys are soy boys. You're Democrat men, which you're not real men. Right. And I don't mean to make it so simple as Democrat and Republican, but it's produce a parasite. You have every right to be pissed off at them, but the priorities are wrong. Their life goals are wrong. Their value system is so fucked up. The value system has laziness, the fear of work at the center. That's their number one driving value. And you can't be a lazy, parasitic piece of shit and expect to have a good life. It just doesn't happen. And you could give them all the welfare in the world. You give them all the money in the world. They'll still fuck it up. Give them all the government jobs and student loan. They're still going to fuck it up. And then at the end, because you guys were at least somewhat honest and you worked it yourself, whether that's girls keeping themselves thin and pretty and you found a guy who's really kind of cool and you like him, or you guys stayed in shape at the gym, or you worked hard, you produced something, take the opposite sex out of it. Well, I know a dentist, a female dentist. Well, I know several female dentists, actually. It's not glorious, but they maintain the dental health of thousands of people. That's great. You're an engineer. You programmed a software engineer. You provided joy to millions of people playing video games. It's not necessary. You're a farmer. Snoresville, boring. You kept people from starving. And that is what is good. That is what, I mean, yeah, it's good. But it also provides character. It provides a value. It fills your soul. It makes you not an NPC, so that when you go out into the world of other people, you interact. And the number one question, what do you do? And women, I know you men think they're asking you that because they want to know how much you make. And that may be true too. But I would say what supersedes that for both men and women is they like, what do you do? Who are you? Because deep down inside, we don't give a crap what you look like, unless you're fat and disgusting. It's like, well, what do you do? What is your role here in society? What are you doing for society? Oh, you're an engineer. Oh, I met an admiral one time. What I think it was like, he commanded the entire 5th Pacific Strike Carrier crew. Some name. I'm like, holy shit. What do you do? I'm a podcaster. Just night and day difference. This real man. And he was shorter than me, and I never felt so small. Never felt so small in my life. On the internet. But there's a guy. Like, damn. You did a lot for you did something. What do you? I help the children. I sell candy to the kids in the neighborhood using my EBT card. And when it's all said and done, man, it doesn't have to be great or grandiose, but then you look at it and you say, you know what? I put effort into society and I was rewarded with some pretty cool people. I got to interact. Like I got to hang out and call certain people. Like I get to call uh who would I consider really cool? Ryan Stone, a colleague. I get to call John Fitch, Paul Benjamin. Yeah, Rollo. Yeah, okay. Rich Cooper. Yeah, okay. And then there's people like, Jack Napier, where it's like, all right, he's on the short bus. Is that yes, Jack, you're a colleague. Yeah, well, yeah, welcome to the team, Jack. But the masculine geeks, Rurb, TJ, those are my colleagues. Atham, the dipshit in Reno. I get to call him Elkums. The famous Vlado. These guys are my colleagues. The female dentists, colleagues. And we have conversation, which is the only true form or currency by which you can exchange love. And I mean universal love, like whether it's familial, brotherly, romantic, camaraderie. You exchange conversation. You have good conversation, and that is showing love between one another. That's the currency. That's the value. You think that poor old bitch, and I mean that in every sense of the word, has ever had any currency of that value tossed her direction from anyone that has any intrinsic value? None. None. Her life ain't rich. I don't care if she got all the government bailouts in the world. She ain't got shit. And there's your vengeance, guys. There's your vengeance. Whatever, if they even have prom queens anymore, that's over. People who fucking live by their traits. Holy fucking worthless person wasting their life, Batman. If you put pronouns on any social media, tell me you have no core, you have no soul, you have no value without telling me you have no core, soul, or value. That's you people putting your pronouns up because what? What do? You don't do anything. You don't contribute to society. You're like, look, I'm virtue. Oh, you virtue signalers. Why are you alive? Why are you here? What are you doing? I'm not saying that as because I disagree with you politically. Obviously, that is true. I'm like trying to help you save what's left of your life. You have managed your life so poorly, so not invested in yourself for the rest of society, that the best use of your time is to put pronouns on resumes and your whatever, your Instagram or your Twitter account. We've talked about this before. I am so bored with myself. Like, I don't wake up like, oh, I'm a white guy. Ooh, I got a penis. Yay for me. Yay, white penis persons. Like, if you celebrate traits you were born with, it's over. You're not alive. You're not alive. Because if that's what you're going for, that means you're going for crap you were born with to give you value, which means you're afraid of work. You're not going to do anything of value for society, and almost guarantee you that if we looked at your background, you ain't an engineer. You're not a loving husband or father or wife or mother. You might have kids. The fuck if you raise them. They're shipped off to daycare in the public schools. You don't have a real degree. You don't have a real job. You're constantly begging. You're probably getting some kind of government grant. You loser. Good day. And for all of you pronoun people, or you people who identify as, like, well, you don't identify, you are whatever, a Asian female. But if you start off your sentences, well, as an Asian female, I just feel it's over. It's over. I ask you to do one of two things. One, step back, reevaluate your life, and ask myself, okay, this is it. This is all I get. For the rest of my life, do I want to do nothing except jerk off to myself in a mirror, essentially, is what you're doing? Or do I want to do something of value with my life? Or admit now that you're not going to do anything of value with your life. You're too lazy. You're too afraid of work. That's fine. Just collect your government check. I'm even willing to do that. Here's the thing. Shut the fuck up. Don't lecture the rest of us who work for a living. Don't lecture the rest of us who are participating in society. Don't lecture the rest of us who don't look in the mirror and say, oh my God, I'm a white male. I'm a white male. Good for me. And we go say, I'm a strike carrier group commander. I'm an accountant. I'm a dentist. I'm an Uber driver. I'm a waitress. I'm a dishwasher. It doesn't matter. At least you're doing something. I'm a washed up old lazy hag who pissed it all away. You know it's going to fall on deaf ears. You know it's going to fall on deaf ears. All right, let's get through the super chats. I'm using a mouse, by the way. We'll play catch up here. Clarence Gaston. Oh, Clarence, did you see I did a video for you? You made a generous donation, and your name's in the title. Let's look it up. For 20 generous dollars. Hey, Cappy, this is for your good productivity and to keep your great day going. Yeah, see, like, even I have a little bit of shame. A little bit, not a lot. A little bit of shame, like, yeah, this is my job now. Almost to assuage the guilt, I've thought about going back and, like, getting a CPA. So I'm kind of like, see, I'm kind of like Chad Elkins. I'm not a total waste of piece of shit. Irony is where it ends up. Oh, by the way, I'll be doing this later. Don't expect Cappy to be around forever. Don't expect any of your internet heroes to be around forever. You see what happened to Rogan? All right. You can't get, there's a rule. We'll call it the Cappy's rule of social media or whatever. If you get too big, someone will take you down. Someone will come back and get your past. And ain't none of you sinless. We all got skeletons in the closet. We're all going to be taken down. It's all coming, guys. Mark my words. Predicted here at the 46, 42 minute mark. Every one of your internet heroes will be taken down. They will. This is where Operation Evil comes in, because I was like, okay, I got to diversify out of my own brand name, my own name. And also, I have to get invested in a society, a culture that isn't obsessed with Nazism and anti-free speech and has no room for forgiveness. None. It is not possible to work long-term in the West, certainly on the internet, as some kind of internet person, long-term. You have to get your cash. You have to grab your cash, grab and dash. You got to get in and get out. And my goal is to build up enough money so I can buy property overseas. I can reconnoiter overseas, find out where I want to go, buy property overseas. Boom. And then I might do like a Rumble account or something and really go off, really be unhinged. But thank you for the donation, Clarence. Robert Flores, $5. Hey, Aaron, another benefit of living in Nevada outside of Las Vegas, Reno city limits, no smog check required. Suck it, Kelly. Yeah. Well, see now here, I'll agree with this. Pretty much anywhere where there's a smog check, if you're in a valley, which Vegas is, yeah, it could get pretty bad. And you should kind of like, I'm not a big government person, but yeah, it's pretty bad. You probably should get your air quality. You don't want people getting cancer. But then you'd argue, well, why would sick, frail people go there? You're right. But I'm not necessarily against that. Cynic in chief. Well, what insult are you giving me now here? Are you joining the Cappy and Beckloff discords? You set up the Cappy one, right? I have my own. I could join them. And the only reason I set up my Discord account is because I got to go with an interview. A guy called Zeus. And that's going to be on the 19th. So Cappy is look, I just caught up with everything. Don't be loaded up my plates with more stuff. No more stuff. Cappy's going to go and be a debauched hedonist today, which means maybe I'll have 2 donuts. God, I'm in such a good mood. I might even take Doge for a walk to the donut place. See, but then that's actual real exercise. I did a hike yesterday. It was an all right hike. It wasn't too serious. Not like that kid running up and, oh, I hated those skinny guys. They could just run up and they're nice too. Like, hey, how you doing? Hey, yeah, Mr. Superior shape guy. Yeah. It's like Troy Francis. He's just so handsome, and he has that British accent. He's just so nice on top of it. Like, I still got to get Troy and all those guys on. Tai Huan Do, €2. No dogs were harmed in the making of this podcast. Oh my God. I got to tell you something, Juan. So, Doge, the dog of no real value, has had like an appearance or two. I did that video where I sang the dog of no real value song. Well, the dog has a fan mail. I get hate mail and death threats and rape threats. The dog, who has maybe a cameo appearance or two, some little girl liked the dog and wanted to write a letter to the dog. And if I could read it, of course, this is the parent asking if I could read it, to the dog while the dog is on the thing. So now I have to read fan mail to a dog that has had no more than a minute of airtime on my channel. Again, I get the death threats. I get the hate mail and all that. Dog gets little girl wants me to read letter to dog. So I don't have dogs on the show. We'll have Doge come out. I have to read that. Alex Ivanov, regular guy of the show, $10. My grandmother was one from Soviet country. Some need social approval, ended up bedridden, no friends, and her own excrement. Was she a was she a communist then and held on to the communist ideology? Or was she just natural human laziness was more powerful? And why did she leave the Soviet Union if that was her ideology? That would be heaven. Even then, she cared more about what the neighbors thought than her own life. Yep. That's sad. It's all gone. All gone. Sam Whiskey, the coolest name in America. $10. I just wanted a black coffee, no sugar. Instead, I got a drink with an ice cream sundae on top. People can't make coffee anymore. Really? You sure they grabbed the wrong one, Sam? There was a time. Okay, I gotta tell you, this was last year. Doing a lot of driving into Wisconsin, and it was here, Wisconsin, and I think South Dakota. 2 double espressos. I think I've talked about this before. I want 2 double espressos. And for you baristas who don't know what that means 2 orders of the same thing. And then the double espresso means they want 2 shots of espresso. And for the longest time, I get a double shot espresso with a coffee. No, that's Dunkin' Donuts. I got a quadruple coffee or quadruple espresso. Pretty much every permutation of everything but what I wanted. It would be iced. It's sitting there like, this is iced. Oh, do you want it hot? Who orders cold espresso? Well, for whatever reason, I don't know if my video made a difference. Now, apparently the entire coffee industry has rediscovered what a double espresso is. If I say 2 double espressos, then I get 2 separate ones. Sounds like me just grabbed the wrong thing. But what would not surprise me in the slightest, Sam, that they put. That's the other thing. Do you want cream in that? No. Did I say no? You want sugar? No. I just want espresso. That's it. And it's these mosquito bites. That's what they are. Singular grains of sand in the economic engine where you proprietors and your employees. Oh, I went on a block spree. Even people I like their businesses, I put everyone on block. There's no more spam. That doesn't kick them out. I'm just like block. Like, and I am kicking around going through my my email. Like my Cappy Cap email, I have a bunch of emails. But I'm thinking of just like going through and just blocking. And anytime I get anything from it, block. And I'm sorry for those of you, I don't need any more money. I'm never going to borrow money again. And for you businesses that like, you send me a bill, but you've sent me 8 spam mails about, we here at the T-Mobile family just want to let you know how much we're doing to help out Black Lives Matter. And like, oh my God, your payment didn't go through or your card was canceled or whatever. I'm not getting that. You're blocked. And then you're like, hey, we need the money. I'm like, oh, were you filling my inbox with a bunch of fucking bullshit I never asked for? Yeah, fuck you. There's a piece of me, I kind of want to try it. I was tempted when I was in San Francisco to like just grab something of $200 of value, like a souvenir. But now I kind of know one of the reasons San Francisco's locked down. Uh, there was nothing open. There was nothing you could steal. I guess I could have made off with Henry's Hunan, but the food was so bad, I didn't want to steal it. It was horrible. But I was like, kind of like, oh, it's like a trinket. I could use a watch, use a nice new watch. And I think no matter how much they virtue signal in San Francisco, everyone's locked down. There ain't nothing open in San Francisco. But yeah, I just it wouldn't surprise me, Sam, if that's like, oh, I thought you wanted a sundae with sprinkles and cherries. Rob Flores, $5. Karma sometimes is so delayed that only death is the final equalizer. I don't know, but death, you're no longer conscious. That's my opinion. Or you've moved on to meet your maker, in which case, then yes, there is justice at whatever the pearly gates. Peter with his quill. I see you face your judgment then. I am absolutely convinced that karma comes before you die. You don't get out of here without it. And if for any other way, like, and not any other way, nobody can escape this. No one who's on the cheating side of humanity, who's on the evil side of humanity, they will never escape the insanity. This is why I wrote if you guys want to read a short philosophical piece, go get Sanity is the Future of Wealth. I mean that. Like, if you just know some basic facts, like no one likes fat chicks. If you girls figure that out, if you base in the real world, or guys, girls don't like short guys. Girls don't like poor guys. Worthless degrees will make you poor. Just simple stuff. No such thing as a free lunch. If you accept these realities, you're going to be so much more sane. And you're going to be mentally happier and healthier. Whereas people continue to believe the lies. Like, can you imagine anyone listening to Whoopi Goldberg? Can you imagine anyone listening and heeding what's said at The View? Like, they have got to have such cognitive dissonance and a tortured mental existence that confusion makes them insane and pained and takes away from that. That's where your comeuppance is. The bully in school who had his way, like it was, 800 AD and was the barbarian, he could just enslave everyone else. He gets out in the real world, there's some people with cuffs and guns that might have a different say. There might be a guy bigger than him that wields a bigger axe or just carries a gun. And that's the end of that. But they're always confused. Homeless people so afraid of working, that they actually end up putting themselves in such a horrifically bad environment, forcing themselves out into the elements without a home and plying themselves with drugs. The brain is all fucked up. Some of these people live to 70, 80 years old. That's like from when your parents finally kick you out of the house, let's say 25 to 80. Was that 55 years of hell, mental hell? All you fat chicks thinking, you guys want revenge? You want, get your popcorn. We're all going to do Captain Obvious, Gen X here. Can you imagine what it's like being a fat chick and you actually think men's preference for thin women with long hair and big bodacious tatas is social conditioning? And someday your prince is around the corner. And getting angry at men and calling them misogynist because they're like, no, I like an ass that backs up into this, tig old bitties, long hair, and a nice demeanor. You just want a girl that's barefoot and pregnant. Okay, believe that. I don't care. You're an NPC. Believe it. Makes you almost wonder, like, if the NPC brain, the operating system they have running on their brain, only allows them to experience pain and confusion and insanity. Like, did they ever really enjoy joy? That required the participation of other quality humans. You know, do fat chicks, like, do they ever find a guy they're really excited about and have a mind-blowing throbbing orgasm? Or like, "Holy shit, I can I can see the light." Like, do you have that? Or is it or some drunk guy who, like, lowered his standards temporarily, gave you sloppy sex, and then left? And then there's a shame. He goes into the penalty box of shame. They say, "What'd you do?" He says, "I rode the moped." They're like, "Ah, ha, ha, moped rider." Only some people are going to get that. So I don't believe it's death. I mean, I knew a mean grandma that collected her ex-husband's ground, that collected ex-husbands. Ground froze where she lies. Yep. How was it? How was it? Here, question for the ladies. How was it defining your existence, defining your purpose as to how much you didn't need men? How was that? And guys, how much, and in fairness to the ladies, guys, how was that jerking off to all that porn, or getting to level 46 master on the Skyrim Battlefield 5 game? I still can't believe it that you guys even waste your time waiting for video games to download now. That was it. That's the last. I'm Switch. I'm Nintendo. I want to play games. I don't want to sit and download super, super, super good graphics. I'm I'm glad all you people are wasting your lives because I know how to profit off of you now. That's probably one of the most important things anyone who is entrepreneurial can understand is, man, do people want to be lied to? They just want shit. Don't try and give them what they need. You give them what they want. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, Shaniqua. It the white man holding you down. Mm-hmm. Here's some more government money. Vote Democrat. I don't know why you're poor. It's the white man holding you down. Here's some more money. Vote Democrat. I don't know why you're poor. It's the white man. Vote for more money. Vote Democrat. Well, I'm sorry, Shaniqua. You're 83 years old and dead. Oh, how was that? At least you made your life count. At least you're different. You made a mark on the world. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't need no plan, man. Dental plan. Lisa needs. No, it was wait. Menopause. Dental plan. Lisa needs braces. Menopause. Dental plan. Lisa needs braces. Kate Ann, here's a gal who knows about staying in shape. Here's a gal's got it, and she's you're a professional as well. Love being child free, fit, and minimalist. I have it all. Yep, there you go. I would imagine you also must run into some of the existential issues though, where you're like, where the fuck is everybody? You especially have got to be pretty lonely on the female front. Like, how many female colleagues you got, even in your league? And I'm not trying to kiss your ass or anything like that, but you're thin. So, like, there's the top 30%. You kind of like guys. So now you're down to the top 5%. And you have a real job and you don't have any debts. Like, you got to be pretty damn lonely when it comes to female colleagues, I'd imagine. Vince H, 10 generous dollars. Chicks hit a certain age and lose all motivation outside of making everyone's lives more annoying. Well, that I would say is confirmed with some women I know who are older, and you are right. They're only, God bless my grandma. Oh, right. She's on the fast track to heaven. God ain't even going to mess. He's going to be like, come on over, right over here. And then I had a grandma who wasn't nice. But by God, just a wonderful. And let me tell you about my grandma. She's not lonely. She almost like, hey, grandma, you all right? Yes, I'm fine. You need no. Frankie's coming over and Bobby's coming over. She's got an army of everybody that loves her. Why? Because she was a loving fucking woman. She wasn't doting. Okay, she certainly loved my grandma or my grandpa, but just a sweet, wonderful woman. And smart too, very smart, a professional. I won't say what profession, but very smart. You know, back when a woman doing that thing actually was brave and courageous, you know, and boy, she was smart. I'll just say she was very good with numbers. Yeah, compared to the other grandma that just was all about her and take, diet alone. this other grand, God almighty, I'm like, hey, are you all right? Oh, well, we got poker going on, and then we're going to go to the casino, and then I'm going to go visit these people. I'm going to visit that, and they got these people coming on. I'm doing my hair thing. I'm like, you go. 95 years old. That lady's got a bigger social life than me, which isn't a huge hurdle. Gee, and I wonder if it had anything to do with her being nice and not a weapons-grade feminist bitch. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Then I know another one who's looking at death square in the face, and none of the grandkids want to hang out with her. Husband doesn't like her. Nobody likes her. Imagine that, ladies. No one likes a bitch. Huh? Another thing I like about my grandma is she always puts herself together. Not like dressed to the nines or anything, but she always does up her hair. She always presents herself. She's always got a, good grandma fashion. Oh, God, she dresses better than any of you young gals that might have had a shot at a decent man going to Walmart now with your pajamas and your pierced nose and your pink hair. That's all right. That's patriarch. Yeah, okay, patriarch. All right. Manoj Talia, our ballroom dancing agent. You're the ballroom dancer now. I've given that up. You're the ballroom expert now. Base case scenario, I live up to 80 with an absolute satisfaction. Listen to the big brother Cappy. He's got some salt and pepper. I'd like to think some habanero and cayenne pepper as well. James G, $5 in memory of Fred. Fred! I know we're all pissed, but I'm like, come on, man. You couldn't have asked me. You could have said, hey, I got a problem, man. Like, you didn't have the resources of all the red pill at your fingertips. His therapist, look, any of you guys suicidal? Any of you guys depressed? Before you check yourself out, could you go to histherapist.com and contact Dr. Maloney? Drop $100 or whatever he's charging now. In memory of Fred, thanks for recommending Chicago. I was considering a base out west. It was either Twin Cities, Denver. Denver has got worse. Well, Denver's better than Chicago. How do you consider Chicago in the Twin Cities west? It's got to be west of the Mississippi. Well, I guess Minneapolis is west of the Mississippi. I mean, west of the Plains states. You got to get into the mountains. Have you considered Kansas City? I mean, if you're looking at crappy Midwestern towns, it's one of the better ones. I still like Denver. It's just the traffic got bad. That's all. I don't mind Denver. You just stay off the 25. Alex Patino, our truck driving Latino agent in the field, $5. Funny thing, I just saw Wendy's in Shreveport, Louisiana, offering a $500 hiring bonus and no one taking it. I saw a homeless guy in Vegas panhandling right in front of a Wendy's and a Del Taco, and I guarantee you those they were probably looking for someone to hire. It's all right. We just raised, 2 generations. Look up my video, The Economics of Raising 2 Generations of Worthless People, or useless people. Aubrey on fire, 2.79 Canadian dollars. Cappy identifies as Willy Wonka. Never saw that. Fully through. Alex Patino, the truck driving Latino agent in the field, $5. The ironic thing is that the NKVD rounded up longtime supporters of the October Revolution, so don't think you're safe, people. I will explain to you how that works. All right. And I know none of you leftists are listening to me, but all you Vouch followers, all you social science majors, all you people who are going to change the world, the number one reason you chose that as a profession, however it manifested in whatever degree you chose it, you could be an English major, an actual veritable social activist major, whatever. For all of you choosing these worthless degrees, and you're going to go change the world, the reason you do that is because you're lazy. You don't want to work for a living. Period. End of discussion. Deep down inside, you know it's true. I'm going to argue with it. Okay. The problem is, as the Soviets found out a couple times, since none of you work, right, and you're all going to lead, that results in a lot of not enough Indians and too many chiefs. And when you all want to lead, what ends up happening is a power struggle. And Stalin was really good at power struggles. You know how? You know how he won the power struggle? He just killed his competitors. Because you are all willing to kill the productive members of society and riot and terror and kill so that you individually, personally don't have to work. That also means you will gladly kill your communist comrade If it's between you having to go work in the fields or going and just sitting there at the Politburo, you will kill every communist you possibly can, because ultimately you don't give a damn about communism or helping out the people. You're a lazy piece of shit who doesn't want to work. That's it. That's all it is. And that's why you have not enough Indians, too many chiefs, and the chiefs will kill each other because it can only be one chief. Usually it's the most mercenary. And then there's like, where's the food? And that's why leftists, I mean, I've talked about this before here in the United States, that for every, whatever, Nancy Pelosi, Ilhan Omar, Ocasio-Cortez, there are literally thousands of Democrat activists, volunteers, political science majors, that whole cabal of worthless people who are desperately working to become that. They desperately, for every one of them, there's 999 other people who so want that job, and they'll never get it. A great movie to watch. It's not that good of a movie, but it shows you Donnie Brasco, Al Pacino, and Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp plays a character, older, kind of aging mafia guy. He's in the Italian mafia, and he keeps wanting to become, he wants to make it big, or whatever the mafia calls it. And for whatever reason, the powers that be in the mafia never tap him, and they tap Donnie Brasco, who actually is an FBI plant. I think it was based on a real story. And they keep passing over Al Pacino's character, and until I think he dies. And it's sad, like, that's your life, man. You want to make it big in the mafia, you never made it. It's the same thing, all you Democrat operatives. Let's do some house knocking. Drive the bus of homeless people to go vote here. So, maybe if I get a master's degree of political science, then I can run for office. Can I help? Can I get tapped to be part of your staff? Mm-mm. And that's okay when you have a capitalist, free market, generally economic system producing wealth for the rest of you to live off of. But when you nationalize all the private property, and all the real productive people are like, well, if I'm not getting paid, I'm a slave. Fuck you. I'm not working. That you won't have the luxury of food being in the grocery store shelves for you to like go and eat with your EBT card, your parents' money, or your UBI check as you play make-believe politician or wannabe politician. They're going to grab you, they're going to enslave you, and they're send you out to the fields or to the work camps. And that's why communists all kill each other, because they value themselves more than anything else, and they do not want to work, and they will gladly kill you all, including their own, till there is only one leader, and then everyone shuts the fuck up and does what that leader says, unless they want to die. So there you go. I just explained Stalinism to you. Alex Ivanov. Yes, CCP all the way, never left. Oh, so she stayed in the Soviet Union. Okay, good. So if she was born, I mean, that's all she knew was communism. That's horrible. Horrible life. Horrible. Oxygen and kerosene, 5 British pounds, lazy software engineer here, working with good people for 40 hours a week and living a comfortable life without a nagging wife is the best revenge. Dude, you just don't screw up. You just don't screw up. And it is amazing how good things go. It's amazing. Let's make sure I didn't miss any more. DJ Aftershock, $5. Yo, bro. Look at me. I'm posing with my car. Yo. I got my PMI certification, bro. I learned the Boston Consulting Group Matrix and Leadership Spectrum at the Hanson Hall. Is Hanson a hall? I can't even remember. Oh, it's so sad. The how much I've forgotten. I used to know the campus like the back of my hand. I used to be able to protect that campus, and I can't remember where. Oh, what's going on? It's all changed now, too. Robert Donovan, $10. There's an 80-year-old homeless guy here who has lived in his car all of his life. No drugs, but never worked. And honestly, he thinks it's the ultimate life hack. Other homeless consult him on how to leech. Yeah, I mean, okay. There are some people who enjoy that life. There are, 330 million Americans. Some are going to enjoy homelessness. They're going to like that. Okay, fine. You could be Diogenes. But I don't know. I'm not kidding. I would end my life if my entire life existence was, okay, I got to leech off of other people. I got to come up with a scheme and stand on this corner to get other people's money so I can go find a place to sleep later on tonight. Now, of course, they're a different mindset than me, but I'd be like, no, that would be self deletion time. Like if that was my only other option. Like, okay, Aaron, you could be born and your job will to be standing in the weather, surviving the elements, getting enough money to buy some stuff. You're going to annoy everyone you're around. And then you got to go find a relatively safe place to sleep every night for 70 years. No, don't even make me born, man. No. I mean, if they want to waste their life, there's a whole other world out there. You get yourself a job, you live minimalistically, you can do van life, you can eat good food, go for hikes, hang out with other people. I mean, if he could do a teachable class on how to be homeless. Daniel Way, 20 generous dollars. I could see Cappy being recruited to be a disciple of the Jigsaw Killer from the Saw movies. The Jigsaw disciple? What? Jigsaw Killer? What? Oh, that guy. I won't. Why would I want to kill people? I don't want to kill people. Why would I end their misery? I'm not kidding. There's so many enemies I have where I'm like, I've thought like, I haven't thought. I know exactly how to maximize the revenge on them. The only problem is like, well, if they're gone, they're not suffering anymore. And then I look at it, and this has been especially for those of you who were like bullied in school, go look up your old bullies. You'll get the final Nelson laugh. You could not torture them more than God's already doing right now. They are miserable. But yeah, I'm not going to hunt people down. Wisco Nomad, $2. Can't even blow your money in Illinois casinos without vaccine. Yeah, I'm finding that out. Like I could get donuts. That's kind of my vice now. I don't really go to the casinos because they need masks and all this stuff. It's like, dude, I'm just gonna play blackjack. I'm not wearing a mask, so I don't go to the casinos. Occasionally, I would gamble a little bit here and there. I bought here. I'll show you. This is where my money goes. Not all of it. Okay, so I got a Cowboy Bebop mouse pad. That was cool. And I ordered a We Bear Bears sweatshirt with Ice Bear on it. For those of you who know We Bear Bears. And it's most of the money now is just going to the purchase fund of property overseas. That's where most of the money's going now. But you're right. You couldn't even buy. What am I going to go? Go to Best Buy and buy some? They got nothing there. Office Depot? No. I'm already done with the house. There's literally nothing I need to buy except like the occasional bit of food. And even that you can't go get. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to buy some steak and chicken. I'm going to fire up the grill. I'm going to grill it. And it's going to be better and cheaper than what I can get at any other place. So even if I want to blow my money, I can. Wisco Nomad, $2. Is weed not legal in Wisconsin due to Tavern League? I don't know. You're the guy from Wisconsin, man, not me. Scott Lukey, $2. And Vince H, $5. I'll fix the country with one policy: no job, no vote. Yeah, that would solve it. I would say sales tax. That would solve it too. Everyone's paying taxes. Dung is fun. $2. Have you seen an anime called Ghost Stories? It is funny. No, but I'll add it to the list. I do have a burgeoning list. Shouting from the cheap seats, $2. When will Recon Man International come out? Oh, God, it'll never come out. What? Hang on. What would really be helpful is if individual men in their own countries would write their own reconnaissance man. Because I don't have, obviously, I can't explore every continent and every country. Maybe, I guess the closest version would be Andrew Henderson. Maybe. But I think, somebody in Romania, we got to have a Romanian agent in the field. Like, oh, I'll tell you where to go, what not to do, what borscht to eat, what to look out for. So that'll never come out from me. Tai Huando, $2. What if you conquer the need of conquering the blue circle? What, Juan? Needing the blue pill? I don't know what that is, Juan. Enigma, $2. What's your opinion on the Canadian truckers? I'm for them. I haven't watched them. Don't know really what's going on, but I'm for them. I'm glad that the prestigious leftist elite in Ottawa and other countries, other cities in Canada don't get sleep. It's the first time they've ever had to pay for their actions of enslaving other people. I think it's a brilliant idea where it's just like you just go to where, like, I would do that in Crocus Hill and the Twin Cities. I'd just go to the Twin Cities and just like honk horns. World is world blue. What is your opinion? No. What if you conquered the need for conquering the world? I don't want to conquer the world. If you don't want to conquer the world, you can go be free. Do you know how busy Alexander the Great was? I wonder if Putin has fun. I think he does it because he loves his country. He loves the fellow Russian people. But like after a while, like, what do you want to retire? He'd probably say, retire and do what? You got a point there. You know, like how much more fun would Hitler have had if he didn't want to conquer the whole world? Like, what if he just wanted to chill out and build up Germany? You know, what if he could look at it? Do you know how much effort went into exterminating the Jews? Like, well, I got an idea. How about you just pay the Jews to leave? Okay, go find some place that's willing to take the Jews and say, look, we don't really like your kind here. Here's 500,000 Deutschmark. Go over there. And be like, really? You know, yeah, because otherwise we're going to kill you. Oh, all right, we'll leave. Just, wouldn't that have been nicer and better? I don't know. People gotta go and be evil. All right, that's it. Oh, one thing I'm gonna talk about Yancey Derringer. Let me tell you about Yancey Derringer, and then we'll get going. So there's not a lot of good TV at all. I don't know this new thing called Big Mouth. It's really funny. Look, can we please try to draw something that doesn't tell me you're on drugs without telling me you're on drugs. Telling me you're doing an acid trip without telling me you're doing an acid trip. And that is Big Mouth. Aaron, have you ever watched the show? No, and I'm not going to. I'm just not. It's like my friend, he's like, yeah, man, you should watch Cowboy Bebop, the real live action show. Once you get past all the woke bullshit, and there's a lot of it, then it's really good. I'm like, no. I say it again. I can't get past the turd in the punch bowl. I can't get past the herpes boil on the woman's vagina. I can't get past it. It's not enjoyable. And I can't get past this dumbass looking cartoon where what is the school, the people who did Adventure Time? It's people in California who had no talent in drawing, and they said, this is the new school of art. It's a new style of art. Oh, really shitty art? You know, the boomers already did that. They called it the minimalist movement or the postmodern movement, whatever it was, modern art. That's what it was, where there was absolutely no talent or skill. And then you relied on smart writers to make something funny. It's like, okay, yeah. And you know what? I'll grant Dilbert and The Simpsons, Matt Groening and Scott Adams. You got that. All right, now look, another shittily drawn cartoon where it's punny. No, I'm not watching Big Mouth. And so, and I know you guys said Cobra Kai, and I got a bunch of, but generally speaking, and if you guys watch A Critical Drink, you'll know this, or you just watch television, there is no good television anymore. None. Oh, yes, I know there's a show here or there. So I've been going on in the past. So I saw something called Yancey Derringer. And there's a guy with a white suit and hat, this Louisiana post Civil War. And he has an Indian buddy, kind of like Lone Ranger and Tonto. And I said, Yancey Derringer, what's that? So I clicked on it. And the plot is Yancey Derringer is this swashbuckling gambler, renegade, reprobate, gunsmith, gunslinging Southern gentleman immediately after the Civil War. And he comes out of a Yankee prison. He goes back down south to find his plantation. And somehow the plantation was taken over, obviously by the Union, but his wife, which he wasn't married to, but it's got the riverboat, and it's in the South, and it's Louisiana. And what ends up happening is, well, since the Civil War has recently ended, relatively speaking, he runs into a Union, well, now national agent, federal agent, says, "You know this area, a lot of crime and a lot of suffering going on in New Orleans. I need a man on the inside. I need a," and he goes through all the things. "I need a swindler, a gambler, a backstabber, a reprobate, a vagabond, a gunslinger, a cheater, and a scoundrel, and a womanizer. And you fit the bill. You also can't be acknowledged. So if you screw up, I don't know anything about you." And Yancey Jarrett, Darren Jarrett's like, "Hey, but so he's all those things, but then he's such the proper gentleman, and he talks like this, and why that is, and he's so polite and civil, his etiquette, his Southern etiquette and charm, and then his Indian buddy's really cool. Like he's mute, mute. He doesn't say nothing, but boy, he carries a lot of weapons, and he's just silent. And then Yancey always, well, no, I don't go anywhere without my Indian friend." And then he'd be like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that because there's a very tall gentleman behind you with a shotgun." And then the Indian's got a shotgun. I forget his name. Anyway, so I only watched the first episode. Oh man, it was great. That was one of the best show. Like a short, it's only 25 minutes. Dude, they got that down. And so, admittedly, I've only watched one episode, but then I went to look at the reviews because there's only one season, one episode. Well, it was so good and everyone loved it that CBS wanted to fuck it up and like, well, we want a percentage. And the original producers and creators said no. And then it ended. And it's so tragic. Now they got 34 episodes, but if the first episode is any indication, it is brilliant because they packed so much into that 25 minutes. And he's coming down like, well, good heavens, and this and that. And all these guys are trying to gun after him. And him and his Indian buddy are always outsmarting them and doing really good. And then the federal agents come down and then the swindlers are trying to get him. And then there's a hot babe, smoking hot. Like, how you doing? Like one of the female interests in the Batman 1960s, like that level hot, like, ooh. Whoo. And then she ended up being a swindler. And you're like, wow, backstabbing dames, and they're and then he runs into his old what would they call it? The black dude who would take care of him. Usually it was like a nanny that took care of, but he runs it like the whole family, the gang is back together. Like the guy is like, "Oh, you're back, Master Derringer. You're back. I thought we lost you." And like, "Well, Johnson, bah, 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 bah," and it's just charming. Just try, and the hot chicks didn't hurt either. But it's on Amazon or something. But you gotta look it up. Yancey Derringer. And it was just fun. Just fun. So you got that there. All right. Are we done with the super chats? I think we're kind of caught up. Alex Swerve Costello, $2. Highlight reel incoming. Okay, cool. Florida Henry, $5. Nazi party wanted to send all the Jews to Madagascar, but the Allies shut down the shipping lanes. What? Really? Hang on. That's an interesting bit of history I didn't know. Jews in Madagascar. Well, okay, help me out with this. They're shipping. It's not like the Nazis didn't have like shipping lanes. Oh, is this so late in the war that we had shut down their U-boats? The Tirpitz was sunk. I'm wondering where along that was. And what did the Madagascarians have to say about that? Did they just like, oh, was Germany even in charge of Madagascar at that time? It would have been after World War I. They had to give up all their colonial assets. Ellis shut down the shipping lanes. Boy, the irony, if we just let them ship out, all those Jews would still be alive. Maybe not where they wanted to live, but they'd be alive. We're caught up. We're caught up. That's it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, here. Yes, Jews to Madagascar, but instead the Nazis agreed to send them to Transjordan And that secured the Trans-Arabian tap line too. The transfer. Oh man, thank you very much. I got a lot of history to look up now. Holy cow. There we I didn't know anything about this. Take a listen to hopefully there's a podcast or a video about it, and I could just listen to that while taking Doge for a walk. Vince H, $5. Anime movie recommendation: Jinro, The Wolf Brigade. I think I've seen that. I'm like 90s. Hang on. That is awfully familiar. Jinro. Yes, I had is a 1999 type thriller. I think I have seen it. Yep. Yeah, it looks like the armor from Fallout. Yep. I'll have to take a look at that. Maybe I'll watch it again. All right, there you go. Let's go through this here. Might get Ryan Stone on. We talked about that. I'll talk about the phone people later. That'll be a separate episode. Boom, done. Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. We got to talk about this. I'm sorry. Is this true? Here we go. Spirit and Frontier Airlines plan to merge. I know you guys all like to make fun of me because I fly Spirit, but Frontier Airlines is also very cheap. That depends if you're going to like Denver or something. Spirit and Frontier Airlines on Monday announced a $6.6 billion merger, a combination of low-fare carriers that would create America's fifth largest airline. The companies have yet to say what brand they'll fly under or who would lead management of the new airline. The combined company would offer more than 1,000 flights daily to over 150 destinations. The merger carrier would leapfrog JetBlue and Alaska Air in the number of miles flown by paying passengers, according to the 2021 statistics, putting them behind the four major airlines that control about 80% of the nation's traffic. You know, that's interesting. American Airlines, Delta, United Airlines, and Southwest Airlines, they control 80% of the traffic. I rarely fly them. It is rare I fly. I am almost expressly Spirit. I don't even go on the Google anymore to find I just go to Spirit. I log in because I am a $9 fare member. I'm pretty prestigious. Did I tell you that specialized mouse pad cost me $14? Big money I'm spending here. But I almost exclusively fly Spirit, and I'm still happy with it. I still stand by. I don't know why you guys can't be as excited as I am about Spirit Airlines. Did I tell you for $20 I'm flying to Dallas to Miami? $20. $20. I even dropped the extra $13 to get promoted to the third row and get an aisle seat. Big spender is what I'm spending my money on now. I'm living a high life. Like, how can you get excited about going almost the speed of sound for 3.5 hours for $20? What? You guys spend more at McDonald's than a regular drive-thru for two people. I get flown halfway across the country. And I'll tell you this. Oh God, I would pay good money. Of course, the girls would probably get in trouble. I think the Spirit Airlines flight attendant outfit is very sharp. Very sharp. And just to piss off the guys at the Masculine Geeks, what I want to do is get a picture of some cute stewardesses in their Spirit Airlines outfit. But I'm sure they got rules against that, and I didn't want to bother anything. And I won't I won't lie either. There's very few good-looking women. Period. Has nothing to do with Spirit Airlines. I'm on the eye. I'm not lying. I'm always got my eye out. Looking for a gal in that kind of sharp yellow and black outfit. Girls got their bootsy boots on, just looking for a good-looking Spirit Airlines attendant. And I look like, And then if I do see one that might want to do it, and then you're kind of like, they're busy. Because they're always busy, getting people in and out. I'm like, I don't know. And I'm sure they got rules against it. But man, there'd be some money. I drop quick money If someone over at the lingerie industry came up with a not plus size lingerie outfit of Spirit Airlines, it'll never be licensed. It'll never happen. But if there's a cute gal that, let's say she worked at Spirit Airlines and she was cute and she still got her old uniform. Dude, I need a picture. I need it now because I got to go and give the proverbial finger to the guys at Masculine Geek. That's what I need. If you had a sign that says, love you, Aaron Cleary, kiss, kiss, or something like that, I'll give you $20. You can afford it, a flight on your own airline. Although I guess they probably fly for free if you're a flight attendant. That would be great. That'd be great to show that to Vince and the guy. Yeah, look at that. Hot chick, Spirit Airlines. Kiss, kiss. Me, not you. The transaction is centered around creating an aggressive, ultra-low fare competitor to serve our guests even better. How much cheaper can you make it? I'm pretty impressed with how Spirit provides the pricing they got. Is it going to get cheaper? Is it going to even get cheaper? The economist direction to me is already maxed out. Is it going to get bigger? I can't wait. Center around expand career opportunities for our team members and increase competitive pressure, resulting in more consumer-friendly fares. More. I love capitalism. Oh, all you Marxist leftists who never worked a real job and thought your degree in Marxist studies because you didn't want to work a real job, you knew better. This is capitalism right here. This is capital. This is where the competition comes in and cuts prices, and you get drastically increased standards of living. Drastically. But you elitists, I'm Herb, I'm Vince, I have to fly first class. Chicken Coop Airlines. There are only 519 routes currently served by both airlines of 2,832 combined routes, according to aviation analytics firm Cirium. That's equal to just 18% of their routes, suggesting a combination will have only limited impact on reducing competition for passengers. Yeah, but fine. Let the snobs at Delta fly Delta. All right. Let American Airlines be always late. American Airlines always late. Hey, we're from Philadelphia. We're morons. I will gladly take Spirit. Now, here's the problem. Okay, now, God almighty, you have to keep the yellow planes. Let's admit this right now. Frontier Airlines with your green F on a white plane is not that exciting. Spirit Airlines, I can spot that plane a mile away when I'm hiking up the mountains. I'm like, look, Spirit, hey, you can see it, it's yellow. And again, the outfits are sexy for the female flight attendants. All right, you gotta keep that outfit, man. You gotta keep that uniform. I want to live to see the day where there's a cute girl who's svelte and in shape in a Spirit stewardess airline uniform. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I need a picture with you. And she says yes. Right? And it won't go public or anything. I'll just send it to the guys and give them the proverbial finger. Actually, if I could get her to give the finger, that would be great. So you guys got to keep the yellow planes. You got to keep it Spirit. You got to keep the sexy uniforms. You guys aren't going to do that. I don't know. Maybe they will. Spirit hasn't failed me yet. Maybe they will say, you know what? Those yellow planes really, we're gonna, I wonder if pretty women attract things. I wonder if maybe there's a reason they did that back in the, Like most of the U.S. airline industry, Spirit and Frontier have been struggling with losses the last 2 years as the air travel plunged during the pandemic. On Monday, Spirit reported a 2021 loss of $440 million. Well, I've been doing my part, guys. I've been trying. I even joined the membership. I gave you $50 a year to get my discounts, excluding special. Guys, you know how to make up that $500 million loss? Spirit Airlines stewardess calendar. Boom! Boom! Who knows economics? This guy does. You know that's not going to... Oh, God, if they did that, there'd be such howls, such reeing. Don't do that, guys. Just don't do that. Just keep flying the planes, cheap and affordable. That was an improvement from the $719 million loss on the basis of 2020. Frontier reported lost 299 million, a basis roughly the same as 2020. Well, maybe you emerge and you lay off all the middle redundant managerial staff. You get rid of half your corporate executive staff. Maybe you make money. Low fares, low approval. The combination bring together two airlines that have very low base fares but charge passengers extra for most things, including carry-on bags. Although their passengers might like the low fares, many don't like the experience of flying with them. Spirit by far had the highest number of passenger complaints with 13.25 complaints per 100,000 passengers, according to stats. JetBlue had the second most complaints at 6.85. Wow. Spirit is twice the complaint, while Frontier had just 5.76. Worst rate of complaints, 2020, when recorded 60.24 complaints. Wow. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. I mean, you're flying the Greyhound of the airlines. Even I admit that. That's why I spend the extra $10. So the crying kid is not like right behind me, far in row 29. The crying kid with the single mom who couldn't know better, like who didn't know how birth control worked. Like, yeah, she's in row 29. With the drunk people who smell like feet and lost all their money. I'm up with the taxi cab drivers. I'm up there with the janitors, the prestige class of the Spirit Airlines. Where I'm in row 3, man. Yeah, I spent the extra $12 on row 3 aisle seat. That's right, baby. How you doing? Oh, right. You're a hairdresser without kids? Yeah, tell me more. You're a Spirit Airline, a prestigious award member, aren't you? You work at the Verizon phone shop? You're a phone store worker? All right. And you're only 30 pounds overweight? I could see you're first class. Yes, for Spirit. All right, there you go. Let me make sure we didn't miss any. Florida Handy, $5. I had a $30 Frontier ticket, but after looking at the ticket was $4 and the rest was taxes and airport security fees. I know. It's great. I don't know how. Okay. You can't beat it. See, how do you not want that? How is that not a value unto itself? That's almost better than flying first class. Like, you got a flight for $4. Boom, that's it. All right. Question. Answers, AsselConsulting.com. Link down below. New class out. Course. Modern Life John says course. Achieving Financial Excellence. The subtitle is the most direct path to wealth. Millionaires and billionaires? No. Redefining wealth as it pertains to today and how it's going to metamorphosize into the future and getting ahead of that curve. Economics, philosophy, technology, very important. Do my regular readers need that class? No, you probably don't. But if you are new and you are poor, you're not as wealthy as you'd like to be, or you have debt. Yes, I keep thinking Gordon Ramsay. Dave Ramsey? Absolutely. His getting out of debt books, and absolutely. This is more direct. This is more philosophical. You do this, I can't guarantee you you're going to be wealthy. Guarantee you're not going to be poor, though. That I will stand by. Barring something out of your control, like if you got hit by a truck, well, you're kind of poor now. But that is $99. It is open for enrollment. It is through the Clary School of Economic Philosophy. Understand, here's another problem. Signing up for the school doesn't get you the class. I have everyone signing up for the school. People don't sign up for the class. There's no sneaking around it. And all you do when you sign up for the school is you put yourself on an email. Here's what happens. When you sign up for the school, which is fine, then I got your email, and then I email you. I say, hey, this class is open. And I do not abuse the email list. I send out one email a month, if that. Short, sweet, here's the class. But that doesn't mean Teachable doesn't have your course or your email. And Teachable will flood your email box with that. So if you're going to sign up for the class. There is another class Achieving Minimalism. That's $450. That's the more advanced one. I know, again, most of you guys here don't need it. I would recommend taking the cheaper one first and then seeing if you need the minimalism course, of which I give a heavy discount to because there's a lot of overlap. So don't take the minimalism course and then the other one. You won't need it. Take this cheap one first, then you may go on to the other one. And that's all I got there. All right. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.